What is going on in Little Rock, Arkansas? And who built this palace temple? The Albert Pike Memorial Temple in the United States of America, over 100 years ago. And why are they telling us that it was built in just 2 years? Beginning in 1922 and completing the palace in 1924. And why are these all the exact same dates, basically? May 11th, May 12th, and then May 7th. The building suffered significant fire damage, of course. The nod that we have pinned down. We know that this building really has an incredible backstory. One that we're not being told about, and this story that we're reading today is completely made up. And today I'm about to walk you through step by step exactly how this structure makes zero sense in our timeline that we live in, or the one that they've created. Today, I'm going to show the entire world that what we have been told since we started in their education system has all been a lie. This palace temple is now named after Albert Pike, a man that is quoted saying a few things that you can see right here, including, if they need a hero, we'll provide one. If they need a war, we'll start one. If they need a disaster, we'll create one. Who in the world is we? What group is this guy a part of? And how does he have that much power to create wars and disasters and to give us heroes? Who is Albert Pike? And now I'm about to use their AI, ChatGPT, to fully expose their construction story. When we ask it a very simple question, one that we all love so much, we all want to know, are there any original blueprints that are available for the public to see? A single drawing. The receipt to their entire story that they try to pass off as facts. And their AI, it just exposes their stupid fairy tale in a second. No original blueprints appear to be publicly available. Not a single blueprint for the Albert Pike Memorial Temple. There's no evidence that the full original construction plans are digitized or publicly posted. No records. Yet they can write all about these dates in May. They can tell us all about the cornerstones. They can tell us anything they want. But guess what? We all want the documents. Where are they? Why wouldn't these incredible blueprints be shown to the world? Where are the ledgers proving that they actually purchased materials? And since this building was privately funded, I asked the AI, what documents would have been required to be filed with the city of Little Rock at that time, prior to construction? They would have needed to file a building permit application, estimated construction cost, basic structural drawings for approval, fire and safety compliance details, which obviously they didn't do because we already know this place lit up in fire. And then there would need to be a property tax assessment after completion. Again, you can't just go around throwing palaces up in 2 years wherever you want. This is a 156,000 square foot palace, 3 stories, plus the basement that we know has tunnels. And you can't just do all this without telling the city and without actual documentation. We all know this. What's not documented online? All of these things that were supposed to be documented, the building permit, the architectural plan set, construction blueprints, all of the records and all of the ledgers. Nothing is documented with the city and publicly available online. So if you continue to ask questions, you will see that these stories are all based on zero facts. Let's ask a simple question. Are there any available records showing how much material was brought to the site to construct this thing that not one of our towns are ever building again today for some reason? Their AI answers no. There are no publicly available records online showing how much material was brought to the site during construction of the Albert Pike Memorial Temple. And if anybody here is somehow still on the fence, how did this 1952 supposed fire begin? How did this fire start? Publicly available historical summaries do not list a definitive cause or references. They simply state that a fire broke out and damaged the auditorium, causing a massive restoration project. There's the restoration again. They have no idea who or how a fire just lit the entire palace on fire. We all know that the fire ghost has just been going around the world, lighting palaces on fire, lighting old world buildings on fire, and nobody has any idea what this ghost's name is. No police department in the world can figure it out. It just picks out the most incredible looking buildings in the world. Stone and marble buildings. And then it just burns the whole thing to the ground. And we see this exact same thing all the time. Even today, at the St. Paul Catholic Church, Montreal, Canada, where the church was unoccupied when the fire broke out. And then nobody can figure it out. Nobody knows how the Palace Church just gets burned to the ground. And you can even switch over to Grok, over on X, and it'll tell you that the fire started on February 23rd, 2026, but the cause remains unknown. And of course, is still under investigation by authorities, and it will be forever. We all know this. Check this out. I posted this in June of 2024. And so let's bring it back up today and see if there's any update from 2 years later. Surely there has to be some sort of update. Let's see what they say. Nobody was inside the unoccupied building. We have the exact same story. It's the same playbook. Nobody's in the building when the blaze just starts. No suspects have ever been identified as of February 2026. Now, we've seen this all over the world for years. We know that these fires are destruction projects. There's two options. This is how they burn these palaces down, especially the churches. First option for them is that they either can't figure out who burned the palace down, and it was the fire ghost just going from town to town. Or here's the other option that they like to do. It's burned down during a supposed restoration project, and it was all just an accident. So if you're listening right now, and you hear this, if you live near a palace from the old world, and you start to see them putting up scaffolding, just know that the building is now in trouble. The Albert Pike Memorial Temple was supposedly designed and constructed by George R. Mann and Eugene John Stern, partners in the firm of Mann and Stern, which we are about to expose to the entire world. Welcome to episode 169 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca K, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Charles Kruger, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, BKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Full Task Homestead, John Adams, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, Michael Dingu, Patriot Armory, C3SCOB, SoniaDane.com, James Alt, Miggs, Mark Chapman, Ariana Oates, Nathan Burbuck, Ski, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Ellie Annie, Seth Craigo, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Late for Dinner, Eolo Goncalves, Blake, Dax Bill Check and Son, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, Doc Halo, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Rod Wah, Sweetest of Peas, Road Warrior, Bruce Latour, Devin Apocalypse, Ardra Rogers, Brazawayan, Armin Walker, Ivan Apocalypse, Laurel L. Burnett, Hoppy John, John and Carlo, Bill, Vince Moreno, Flat Earth Herb, Sven Eric, Ducks MDF TFV, The Arnolds, Digital Strategy, Earth Daughter, Eha Muir, Harvey, Bradford's Donkey Wagon Deluxe, Ernieho, Just Like That, Backyard Rob, DevlinMcGregor.com, D Woods, Sherry Frost, Lynn Kevin Thielen, Effie Patriot, Trevor Cashin, Jeremy and Amy, Kent Baki, Peter Battani, First Class Forklift, Brendy's Brenna, Sally, Alpha Auto, Tahoe Highlands Consulting LLC, Ty, Rebecca Klung, M Skin, ValleyMedicinals.com, David Torres, Charmstar, Breaking Bigfoot, Elena Funk, Once Upon a Time in Tartaria, Beacon of Truth, Cashman 451, Mandy, Lucy, Tibba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Now, when we see one incredible structure, we then need to take a look at who they are pinning the structure to. Who is the architect? Because they always pin more old world structures to these exact same characters, Mann and Stern. They are not just pinned to the Albert Pike Memorial Temple. They are also pinned to 17 other structures, including the Albert Pike Hotel, where we can see right here that Eugene John Stern, the man pinned to all of these palaces, we can read that there is no widely documented evidence that Eugene John Stern ever attended a formal university architecture program. A character that knows how to design palace after palace with no training at all. So we have a guy that is pinned to palaces as the architect, where he never took a single architecture class. And then, on top of that, there are no architectural records for the building. So we have to ask, where in the world is the proof? Oh, and how could I forget that we could all just imagine a palace. We could just close our eyes and think as hard as we can. We can just go right over to the local farm. We could grab a donkey to pull all the stone to the site, and massive columns are just gonna appear out of nowhere. And the city won't care one bit. They're gonna just let us do whatever we want as long as we name it the Albert Pike House. They're not gonna care if we file any documentation for approval. We're not gonna be bothering anybody. We're just gonna put a palace over here and then a palace over there, and we're gonna get them done in no time, 24 months or less, and they are gonna last forever. Until, of course, that fire ghost just decides it's time to come along and rip the entire thing to the ground. And this nonsense was just blindly accepted for so long. Decade after decade, these stupid stories were memorized in class. They still are by some people, which is shocking. But until our generation finally came around and we started asking questions and looking at these things logically, we finally realized that these stories are completely made up. We finally all want to ask logical questions. Like, how in the world were they just knocking out palaces undocumented, all over the place in no time? From 1922 to 1927. 5 years. These untrained architects supposedly got 8 old world palaces done. 5 years. No training. When we open up more detail on these 8 structures, both bathhouses were knocked out in less than a year at the exact same time. While doing those 2 things, they were also getting the Albert Pike Memorial Temple done. Then the untrained master architect is throwing the Arlington Hotel together, where the fire ghost totally destroyed the prior structure, of course. Reconstruction just begins shortly after that, we're told. No questions asked, it's all done in 1924. These buildings, these structures, they don't belong in our timeline at all. At the same exact time as all of these other structures, they're also in charge of the Little Rock Central High School. And I remember when my town had plans to just go build palace high schools in 2 years. Those were the days. I'll forever wonder, where in the world are all of our untrained palace high school architects? I just want one. Where are they? Never needing to produce a single load-bearing calculation, just to make sure that the structure just isn't gonna fall over out of nowhere. I know we all love it, and our basic box style is in style right now. Those 90-degree angles are great on the eye. They look amazing. But what I would do to see a donkey at work, never drinking any water, getting all of the stone to the site. How in the world could we ever thank Donkeys Incorporated enough? These are the palace builders of the past, a bunch of people that never took any credit. They didn't even get to have paved roads. They didn't need them. They just put it in 4-paw drive. In the winter blizzards, rain or shine, that job was gonna get done. Even with multiple projects going on at the exact same time. All over the world they would gallop. A great bunch. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. I love watching this community grow. A massive community that's able to think logically and ask questions. And we're all able to see the old world when we walk around these cities. We are on YouTube. We're on Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, BitChute, eBay, and Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. The Exchange and Municipal Building, done in a single year, and was the tallest building in El Dorado at the time. I asked their AI, are there any construction photos of this building being built? It replies saying yes, and shows me this picture. And if we all just close our eyes and imagine it, you are gonna be able to clearly see all of the stone being brought to the site. You'll be able to see all the people hard at work. You might even catch a donkey out of the corner of the picture. But then when you open up your eyes and you don't have your eyes shut anymore, the building is already done. Saying yes, there are construction photos, but then going on to say they're mostly from later periods, not necessarily during construction. So I replied, so no, there aren't. It fixes its answer. Correct. There are no publicly available construction photos for the Exchange building. Because guess what? In my opinion, they didn't build any of these buildings. These buildings are all found. They made up these stories, and they've clearly lied to all of us. During the same exact years, the Emmanuel Baptist Church just appears out of thin air. And I want you all to know something, that there has been a massive shift in the AI lately. It doesn't want to tell us the truth at all. It is 100% being programmed as we speak to lie to us. I believe that in the beginning, it was trying to gain all of our trust by telling us a lot of truth. It was being honest. And once most people that are using it found it to be helpful and trustworthy, I believe that's exactly when it's going to shift. And I believe that that time is right now. Because I asked it a simple question. I said, what's the address to the building that Stern built, the Emmanuel Baptist Church? It replies that it's located at 10th and Bishop, Little Rock, Arkansas. So I obviously searched that location. And we just go down to Street View, 10th and Bishop. You can see it right here. And then we scroll the camera around. There's no church here. So where did this church go? Because obviously it's not here anymore. And the AI just lied to us. So then when I switch over from ChatGPT over to Grok on X, in real time, I'm going to show you that I believe we are now in an information war with the AI, because Grok tells all of us that the church was actually demolished shortly after the Congression sold the property and relocated in 2003. This building is gone forever. And these buildings that have been demolished, I want you to all understand something right now. They are going to begin to be suppressed, hidden, as if they were never here. These old world buildings, they are going to be gone from the search bar. Their pictures are going to be wiped out. I believe that our history is clearly being manipulated as we speak. Deleted from history. The Emmanuel Baptist Church is being deleted from history right now. Gone. And then we have the Union County Courthouse. Remember, all of this was built from 1920 to 1927, supposedly. And this one just puts the cherry on the top of it all. An old world courthouse. Done in 1 year. That is so crazy and not even close to possible. And once you see this, you're not going to go back to not seeing it. You will forever remember the day that you learned that a guy with no construction training, no architectural training, no training at all, was just going around Arkansas, supposedly, building massive Greek revival style courthouses in a year. Undocumented. The old world. What an incredible topic. An incredible time to be alive right now. The truth is coming through. It's getting easier and easier for more people to see it. And what an incredible thing that we have. Thank you to the National Archives and Records Administration for the United States of America. A few months ago, they sent me the master list. And we all know that they have zero documentation regarding the construction for the publicly funded Union County Courthouse located in Little Rock, Arkansas, where I tell their AI, we want a yes or no answer. None of your nonsense. Do you see the Union County Courthouse, Little Rock, Arkansas on this list? It replies, no, it does not. And we are just getting started.